I want to talk about Soundgarden. I want to talk about Chris Cornell. It's like the story, like you hate when these things kind of come up, but here we are. So Kim Thayil, guitarist from Soundgarden, he was talking and he was basically saying, look, we were working on a new Soundgarden record before Chris Cornell died in May of 2017. This is up at WEHM.com, by the way, this story. And he says that the project now has basically stalled. They want to finish the album. Matt Cameron is on board, famed drummer. Ben Shepherd is on board. They have said that they have, quote, asked nicely for some demos, but they have gotten absolutely nowhere. Thayil explains, we tried to get this thing going 2 years ago, but we were not in possession of any of the demos that Chris was working on. We have copies of them, but what we need are the actual files so that we'd be able to overdub and finish the record. We are not in possession of those. Thayil says, quote, we've suggested that this will benefit all parties if the band could just have these files and we could just finish these songs that we were working on. But there seems to be some confusion amongst various parties as to what that would entail and how that works and who that would benefit. That seems to be, that's the key right there. Who that would benefit. He continues to say, it's been tiring. We can't move on until some future date when someone realizes the value of allowing the creative partners to have access to the material. Soundgarden is releasing a live album and concert film, Live from the Artist's Den. That will come out tomorrow, actually, Friday, July 26th. The special was recorded back in 2013 at the Wilton Theater over in Los Angeles. So we do have some cool material coming from the band. I've seen a couple of clips and things from that, and that sounds awesome and everything else. But the idea that there was material there and there was an intention to put out a Soundgarden record, and that has since stalled, is kind of disappointing. And what's interesting here is Kim really chooses his words carefully. He never calls out anybody in Chris Cornell's family, whom I'm assuming, maybe foolishly, but assuming that they're the ones that are in control of this material. He never says, like, oh, they should give us the record, or his family or whatever. Never calls them by name. Just kind of says, we've been asking, it's a long process, and it's tiring. I'll be curious to see if we get any other further quotes on this, because I would love to hear this material. I thought King Animal was good. I thought it was a strong sort of comeback statement for Soundgarden, and whatever this material is, if they feel like, if Kim feels, I feel like that bond is strong enough that, like, if he knows he has copies of it and he feels confident enough that him and the rest of the band can put this together, you got to give it to him. I mean, how could you say no? I know the family, or whoever is in charge of the estate or whatever, they're in control of whatever materials that he has. But I feel like, when you're in a band and the situation is what it is, where one member dies and the remaining three know what that material is, and I feel confident enough that, hey, we can finish this and make it really great. How could you deny them? It really makes me wonder why. To me, like, again, and I hate to just shoot to something that is typical or, cliche, but to me, that kind of play feels like it's a money thing, and you would hope, as sensitive and delicate as this situation is, but you would hope that everybody can sit down and figure out what works for all parties involved. Now, I'm not sure if Chris Cornell, in fact, I'm pretty sure Chris Cornell was not as prolific as Prince, but I'm sure there's a bunch of material that is laying around that we'll probably hear eventually one day. But to me, this is the kind of thing where it's like, hey, give this to its proper owners. In this particular case, the rest of Soundgarden. This kind of reminds me of the Beatles. Remember when there was that long, for years and years and years, there was like that holdup of material until finally Yoko gave Paul Real Love. I mean, she was like, here, you know. Hopefully they don't have to wait as long as the Beatles fans did, the fans of Soundgarden and Chris Cornell. Anything updates there, we'll be sure to let you guys know.